Business Cal, topic 6.1. Okay, we want to take the integral of this and we're going to use integration by parts. So we need one portion to be the derivative, the other piece to be the integral. So I'm going to take this part to be the derivative, x squared plus 1, and the antiderivative will be the e to the negative 2x. Okay, let's start taking derivatives of the x squared plus 1. Derivative of x squared is 2x, whereas the derivative of 1 is 0. The derivative of 2x is 2, and the derivative of 2 is 0. We're going to stop there. This is as far as we can take derivatives of this polynomial. Over here, to take an antiderivative of this, we're going to take a derivative of this portion. This will be the u. The derivative of negative 2x is negative 2. The reciprocal of a negative 2 is negative 1/2. So the next antiderivative will be negative 1/2 and e to the negative 2x. Now I'll take the antiderivative of this portion again, and we're going to get negative 1/2 once again. Negative 1/2 times the original negative 1/2 gives us 1/4, and that's e to the negative 2x. And now I'll take an antiderivative of this portion again, and we'll get the derivative of this will be negative 2. The reciprocal will be negative 1/2 times the coefficient here will give us negative 1/8 e to the negative x. Okay, now we come over here and we mark down plus minus plus minus. We alternate plus minuses down here. Now, the combination of these two will give us x squared plus 1, the negative 1/2, and the e to the negative 2x power. The combination of these two will give us the negative 2 and the 1/4 will give us negative 1/2. And we'll have x, it's a bad looking x, and e to the negative 2x. The combination of these two will give us a negative 1/4, so negative 1/4, and an e to the negative 2x. This portion right here will be our integral. These two together make 0, and the antiderivative of 0 is constant, so we'll say plus c there. Alright, from there, I want to take out my common factors, which will be the negatives here, here, and here. And the fractions, we have 1/2, 1/2, 1/4, so that'll be 1/4. And also e to the negative 2x power. And that'll leave behind a positive x squared plus 1, a positive x. Oh, I'm sorry, that'll be a 2. I'm sorry, I'm missing my factor of 2. Alright, so let's redo that. So what we'll leave behind is a factor of 2 and the x squared plus 1. Here you'll leave behind a factor of 2 and the x. And here we'll leave back a factor of positive 1 plus c. Okay, now let's begin to clean that up inside. We have a negative 1/4 e to the negative 2x, and this will become a 2x squared plus 2 plus 2x plus 1 plus c. Okay, now let's write that all as a rational. My numerator will be the 2x squared, the 2x here, the 2 and the 1 make 3. The negative here we'll put on the outside. The 4 will be in the denominator. And the e, because of the negative on the exponent, that'll be in the denominator as the e to the positive 2x. And then all plus c. And that's our antiderivative. Next, number 14. Number 14, we're going to rewrite this as 2x plus 1 e to the negative 3x power dx. And integration by parts, we'll take derivatives of the 2x plus 1 and the antiderivative of the e to the negative 3x power. So a derivative of 2x plus 1 will be 2, and the derivative of 2 will be 0. That's as far as we can go there. Next, the antiderivative of e to the negative 3x, the derivative of negative 3x is negative 3, so that'll be negative 1/3, which is the reciprocal of negative 3. e to the negative 3x. Now another antiderivative of e to the negative 3x will be e to the negative 3x. The derivative of the negative 3x will be negative 3. The reciprocal would be negative 1/3 times the original negative 1/3 gives us positive 1/9. Okay, so this will be plus, let's put a little parentheses around there, minus and plus. You alternate signs, plus, minus, plus, minus. Okay, now let's write down the results. As a result, we're going to get these two as a combination, the negative, the 1/3, the 2x plus 1, and the e to the negative 3x. Then we put these two as a combination. We'll have the negative, the 2/9, and the e to the negative 3x power. Okay, and finally our integral will be on these two. 0 times this is 0, so the integral of 0 is c, or constant, should I say. Alright, let's clean this up a bit by taking out all the GCFs, the common factors, greatest common factors. We have a negative here, so negatives can come out. We have a 2/9 and a 1/3, so the 9 can come out, so let's take the 1/9. And we have an e to the negative 3x power. Okay, that'll leave behind, let's see, a factor of 3 here, times the 2x plus 1, a positive here, and a factor of 2, and plus c. Alright, so when I distribute my 3 here, I'll get a 6x plus 3 plus the 2 there. So all that will become a numerator of 6x plus 5. The negative here will be on the outside. The 9 will be below. The e to the negative 3x, because of the negative, this will be below here, so e to the positive 3x, all plus c. Okay, number 20. Number 20, since we cannot take a antiderivative of a natural log, we will put the natural log under the derivative portion and the x squared under the integral portion. So a derivative of natural log of x is 1 over x. The antiderivative of x to the third power is x to the fourth power times the reciprocal of the exponent, which is 1/4. Okay, then we'll alternate signs, plus, minus. Okay, so we'll put these two together first. This will be the x to the fourth together with the natural log of x. And then we'll put these two together for the integral. So minus the integral, and we have the 1 over x, we have the 1/4, and we have the x to the fourth. Alright, now I'll begin to clean up the integral. We'll take out the 1/4 to the outside, and the 1 over x together with the x to the fourth become x to the third. Now the antiderivative of an x to the third power would be x to the fourth times the reciprocal of the exponent, which is 1/4, plus c. So altogether, this creates an x to the fourth natural log of x, and this creates a x to the fourth over 16 plus c. I think I forgot a 1/4 here, because when I put these two together, we have a 1/4 there. So I never did include my 1/4. So let's put that in there and put everything over 4. Okay, and now it looks better. Okay, I was wondering why I had a fraction here and not one there. Okay, this next problem, same thing. But this time we're looking for the area. So we take the antiderivative. Let's see. Sorry, we use integration by parts. So we need a derivative and we need a antiderivative. So we'll take x squared plus x, and then e to the negative x for the derivative and antiderivative, or integral. And the derivative of this will be 2x plus 1. The next derivative will be 2, and the next derivative will be 0. The antiderivative for this This would be e to the negative x. And since this is the derivative of this is negative 1, the reciprocal of negative 1 is negative 1. Next is e to the negative x again. The derivative is negative 1. The reciprocal is negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Next is e to the negative x again, and we'll get our negative 1 back. Okay. Now, let's take a look. Let's combine these two. Oh, sorry, plus, minus, plus, minus. Make sure we have that. So we have a negative here, an x squared plus x, the e to the negative x. And the combination of these two will make a negative 2x plus 1 e to the negative x. The combination of these two will make a negative 2 e to the negative x, and plus the constant we'll get here. But since this is a area formula, we're going to omit the constant and just evaluate it from negative 1 to 1. So everywhere we see an x, we're going to put a 1. So 1 squared plus 1 is 2. So this will be a negative 2. A negative 1 here is e to the negative 1. A negative 1 here, sorry, 1 here gives us 2 plus 1 is 3. So we get minus 3 and e to the negative 1 again. And a negative, 1 here gives us negative 2 e to the negative 1. Now putting negative 1's in, let's see, we get 1 take away 1, which is 0. So 0 e to the negative x. And even though it's negative, it's still 0. Negative 1 here gives us negative 2, and which is negative 1, and then negative is positive 1, so positive 1 e to the negative x. And negative 1 here gives us, oh sorry, that would be positive 1 powers. We put a negative 1 in for negative x. And this will be a minus 2 e to the 1 power. Okay, so we get some elimination there. And the rest of these, if I add these, we'll get negative 5 e to the negative 1. And with this, we'll get negative 1 e to the 1. And so I can rewrite all this as a negative 5 over e minus e. And that's it.